Hello, everyone, and welcome back to your favorite channel, Lockdown Positivity. Today, we are talking to our Mexico correspondent, Jorge. Hello, Jorge.
Hello, hello.
Who is my friend and who is telling us all about his fashion brand, Santa Lupita.
Oh, thank you very much. Well, first of all, thank you for inviting me and for letting me be part of your wonderful channel and your positive connectivity to your audience, and for having the chance to share our experience and our story with your friends and your followers. We're now in San Cristóbal de las Casas, which is, let's put it that way, the urban center of a lot of indigenous communities of the state of Chiapas, the southern part of Mexico, close to the border to Guatemala. And this is where our main activities are located. And we've been spending some weeks. Well, actually, I've been here since November working on the next collection, trying to make the best out of this challenging situation everywhere.
I know, I know. Well, it's a pleasure to have you here. We feel honored to have you. Jorge, you are the partner of the fashion brand Santa Lupita, which is handcrafted by indigenous women. And you are exporting, you're starting to export your fashion brand to the entire world. But tell us a little bit how it all started and what exactly Santa Lupita is.
Santa Lupita is a fashion label. We call it a folk fashion label, which means that all our fashion has a very folkloric, very traditional influence from Mexico. All our garments are handmade, completely handmade. We do a lot of hand embroideries, hand woven fabrics, and we work very closely with indigenous communities in Mexico who are handcraft masters, and they have been doing this for generations. And at some point we had the idea of working with these communities because we saw the work they were doing was unique. It's something that you don't see somewhere else in the world. And also because we wanted to make a contribution to change the fashion industry, and also changing the negative impact that fashion industry has had in recent years in climate change, in society in general. And that's why we decided to create a fashion brand that was able to show that it's possible to make fair fashion under fair conditions and not damaging the climate or Mother Earth the way fashion industry has been doing in the last decades.
Yes, which is beautiful because that really means that every single piece that anyone buys is very unique because it has been by someone that you probably personally know, handcrafted there on the spot or in their homes, or is that their full-time job, or how does it work?
No, well, we have a network of 130
Oh,
artisans.
wow.
By now, it's been growing and growing and growing. Last year, we started 6 years ago, and now it's 130 people working for us. Most of them are women who work all from home. They get the materials, the fabrics, the threads, everything from us. We distribute it among the communities, and they all work from home. So basically every single piece that we produce and sell has been made by one artisan at her place, all handmade. And that's why every single piece is a unique story, because it brings the story of this one lady working from home. And going back to your questions, they don't do it full time because most of them are women with children, and they have the traditional role in their communities. And this is an activity that they made in their spare time as a hobby. So this is something that enables these women to earn money by doing something that they really like, something that they have inherited from their mothers, from their grandmothers. And they don't even have to leave their places. This is actually, for me, a very good example of work-life balance. And actually, this is also a very good example of home office. So that's what everybody's doing right now. It's what these ladies, or what we have been working on with these ladies for the last 6.5 years.
Yes, that is a great example. So how did you find these ladies? How did you got them to work on this massive project that is your fashion brand? How did you find
Well,
them, or how did you chose the patterns or on the embroidery?
so well, first going to your question, how everything started. It was a project that started not out of the blue, but like from the scratch 6.5 years ago. And back then, I came to Mexico and I started traveling around. I already had the idea that I wanted to create this amazing fashion and bring it to Europe. So I started doing some research about the places in Mexico where these special handcraft were being made. So I traveled to these places in Mexico, and I started like basically knocking on the doors, just like asking people, like, I've heard you guys in this village produce this kind of embroideries or this kind of fabrics. Do you know anybody who could help me, or do you know any artisans that would be willing to work with me? And that's how we started building up our network, and that was 6.5 years ago. And at the very beginning, we visited the artisans, and we had a look at what they were doing, like the very traditional work, and we started with these pieces. And at some point, we started developing our own pieces together with the artisans. So it's a common design project between us and the artisans, where we of course incorporate the traditional elements like the patterns, what you mentioned before, or the production techniques, that we try to further develop the pieces so that it's not just a traditional piece that these people use. It's something that can be worn by people all over the world, because first of all, these pieces are very special for these communities. Most of them are just their cultural identification, and this is what they use in their everyday life, and they're not very happy with people outside these communities wearing it. So we don't want just to take it one to one and copy it and sell it to someone else in Europe, because there is this kind of respect for their cultural heritage. But we take elements like the patterns, and we incorporate it into new products, like new cuts, also cuts that are more feasible for the European or the North American physiognomy. So this is a whole design project where we put all these elements together to create these pieces of fashion.
I think it's beautiful what you mentioned about them not wanting to just give their culture away, which these days in many high street shops you see, especially in the summer, you see dresses and kaftans which are supposed to be Mexican. They look a little bit Mexican. But there is not that story that you bring us, no, that there is really 130 women that know you and that work with you, and that you take care of them as well, that they're happy doing their job, and it's still like as a hobby, but yet obviously it gets paid. And with the life balance, what you mentioned, it's very important. So it's very beautiful to really understand the difference there of any kaftan that is sort of Mexican with what you are producing, which is authentic and unique Mexican, no?
Exactly, definitely, and especially because there have been labels, also very expensive labels, that they just have copied one to one pieces of these traditional communities, and they have been really pissed about it because they're just copying it, and at the end, they don't even get anything in exchange for this cultural heritage that other people are using. That's why I think it's very important to not copy a product, but develop it together with these artisans and making a product that can be worn by people somewhere else.
Yeah, which I think you are also doing very, very nicely, no? Because obviously European women are taller than a Mexican woman like myself. So obviously the proportions are a little bit, as you were saying, different. So it's amazing that you're putting all this work into the craftsmanship, but yet converting it into a product that can be bought and used all around the world. We have your homepage as well, and I can see there are photo shoots, and it really looks like this is a fashion brand that is, well, very well set already. Tell us about the photo shoots, for example.
Thank you for that. That's definitely very motivating, especially for because we are still a very young company, so there is still a lot to do. But happy. Well, going back to your questions about the shoots, for us it's very important that we bring a message to our customers through our campaigns, through our lookbooks, through our image, through our branding. It's very important that people get the message behind our brand. I mean, at the very beginning, for example, we were using European models because it was very important for us to show that these pieces can be worn by the traditional European customers, because many customers were a little bit insecure about how they would look like wearing so much color and these kind of very generous cuts. So for us, it was very important to communicate every woman is able to use these kind of pieces. They're very comfortable, they're very practical, they're very beautiful. So every woman is going to look beautiful in it. And now we have diversified our image. Of course, we definitely are working with Latin American models, and we want to expand to other kind of looks, so that everybody has can see that this
identify themselves.
Exactly, and also not only identify herself with the image, but also with the story behind the brand. That it's a homemade and handmade, a very, very complex, we call it piece of art to wear at the end. It's a piece that you're probably gonna have forever in your wardrobe. It's very interesting when we meet customers and they tell us about the stories of their mothers coming in the 70s to Mexico with a backpack and buying all these huipiles, and they're starting to inherit this huipile 30, 40 years after.
Oh, wow. So, and how is it at the moment in lockdown where you are based? Are there any restrictions currently in Mexico? Of course, every country is a little bit different in this circumstance. But I guess because your work gets done still in the bubble of any woman's home, it's quite safe anyway, and nothing to worry about for the customer.
Yeah, well, the situation in Mexico is very tense indeed, especially in Mexico City and in the northern part of Mexico. We are here in southern Mexico, in Chiapas, and the situation is still quite relaxed. We are very, very lucky to be able to have almost a normal life. Like, again, bars are closed and restaurants are restricted, but you can go to the street, you can go your shopping, you can have almost a normal life there. Then the amount or the cases in this region of Mexico are still very low now after Christmas, New Year's Eve, where people were traveling and coming from other parts of Mexico. The cases have increased a little bit, but still very relaxed. And especially in these indigenous communities, it's very interesting to see that there are almost no cases of COVID, basically because these people live in the countryside. The urban population is just very, very, very low in this part of Mexico. Most of the people live in the countryside and they're farmers, and they live with their families in their houses. So they don't have too much contact with people from the interaction, exactly. So they are not that exposed to get the virus. For me, when I enter one of these communities, I'm always using my mask, and we are trying to at least not have a physical contact, to not to be close to each other, because it's not the danger that they could pass the virus to me, but me bringing the virus to their communities. That's why I need to be very careful. And also, it's only me. There is no other people coming with me to these communities. So yeah,
it's very interesting, and it's very reassuring that you are taking care of all the aspects of Santa Lupita, so that it really is a brand or a company that really looks after their people. It feels like it's a teamwork, really, and there is so much respect for the indigenous woman and their lifestyle, their balance with work and home life. And that is really hats up. That's very respectable, and therefore this is also why I invited you to my Lockdown Positivity channel, because it's something very, very special and very magical that you are bringing to the world, the handcraft of Mexico, which of course sadly starts disappearing, because the little villages I suppose disappear as well, because they go to the bigger cities and so on. So it's amazing that you are contributing, that you are doing your bit in this way. And I feel very proud and to be Mexican and, see these pieces. I remember when I visited some of my friends in Germany, in Munich, actually, we spotted some of Santa Lupita's dresses, and that was really goosebumps.
Unbelievable. Definitely, like seeing people on the street wearing your brand is like
I can imagine.
The best gift you can ever receive. Yeah, and thank you very much for your kind words. That's very motivating. Again, there's still a lot to do. It's very challenging. Fashion industry, it's challenging as hell. So it's a lot of hard work to do, but we're very happy. We're going on with this story, and we're very looking forward to what the next years are bringing for our brand.
Amazing. Another thing, with the prices, for example, so you obviously pay very fairly to the women who do all this handcraft, which obviously reflects on the item itself, right?
Exactly.
So just to the people who feel a little bit scared because it might be a bit more pricey than your high street kaftan, this is the reason why.
Also, the thing that you are investing on a long-term purchase, because one of the dresses are gonna be there for ages. Again, I told you about these customers inheriting the dresses from their mothers. That's exactly the same case. You are buying a piece that you're gonna keep forever. So it's not just a t-shirt that will be thrown away after a season. You're gonna keep the thing. So I think I think this is exactly what people need to consider when it comes to buying fashion. We cannot go on consuming the way we have been doing it in the last decades. We need to take care and really think about what is worth buying and what's not. And we should focus on the products that we know that are going to be there for a longer period of time, that are good quality, and we should stop consuming just for the sake of it.
That really is a wonderful message to end this connection directly to Mexico. I am very proud to be your friend.
I'm very proud of you guys. Also, thumbs up for you, and all the best wishes. I send you a lot of sun and warmth from here.
Oh, yes, please. It's very cold. Well, Jorge, it has been a pleasure seeing you again, hearing all about your amazing brand. And we all look forward to the new collection. When is it out?
March 21.
March 21. Amazing. Well, we look forward to that moment and to the summer, so we can also wear it all.
Definitely. Thank you very much for the invitation.
Thank you.
All the best.
Bye-bye. To Mexico.
Love you. Bye-bye.
Ciao.
Ciao.